Wah, wah, wah. Rar and stuff tracking.
Hey, Cass.
Rar. Rar and stuff sticks. Rar and stuff Zep. Rar and stuff Dr. Mono. This feels wholly inappropriate. Thank you for the resubs, everyone. Thanks, Twitch. It's not Twitch's fault I have this set to be the hype train music. Not the vibe I think you're going for. Perhaps not, but you know what? Wilds wouldn't want us to be sad. Drink to that. You know what? Why not? Let's get it going. So, I have many years, been curious about trying mead, and I finally got some. Because, thankfully, Magnumer went back into his chat logs and found that one where Wilds had recommended a particular mead to him. And I went and got myself some too.
Yes.
100%. He wouldn't want us to be sad. He'd want us to celebrate, to cheer him on, have a great time. Remember the good times, and don't cry about it. I will endeavor to make that happen. No promises. Ryan stuff, PP. So, I have here in my hands a can of Meridian Hive mead. I have never tried mead before. In fact, I'm not even a big fan of alcoholic drinks in general. Thank you for the pets. So, let's see if this was a mistake. This shit's expensive! It's in a can, too, by the way. Trying to do this without making a huge mess. Okay. Wait. I have just the thing here. Haha. To Wilds. Wherever he is, I hope there are dragons and snow. I don't hate it, but I don't really taste the honey. How much was it? $11 for 4 cans, 12-ounce cans. It's fine. I can probably dismiss that now. Iron stuff, J Feather. But yes, to Wilds. It's fine. Lives fountain soda. Luckily, I also just have a glass of water, just in case. Wilds was a big fan of craft beers and such, and every single time I met him at TFF, maybe not every time, but most of the times he was at TFF, he would let me try some of the ones that he or Cardboard Box Dragon, Dragonwise, somebody would have brought. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try a little sip, and I'm, I hate it. Ryan stuff, Dracana. This, I think I just don't like the taste of alcohol, just in general. Ryan stuff, Croc. Yep, we're remembering Wilds to the most inappropriate music of all time. You have a local brew that supports local dog rescues. That's a good one, then. This particular one, it's got a little bit of an aftertaste. There's the honey. Okay, I get it now. This one, Meridian Hive, is brewed in Austin, Texas, which is kind of probably why he recommended it. Back of the can feels weird. Oh, okay, I see. It's just like the label is not actually printed on the can. It's just kind of wrapped around the can. Still working on your artwork for him? Needs that you, like, normally have fruit or something in it. Apparently, this one says it does too. It took me a bit to get to the honey part of it, and I don't know, maybe the fruit's somewhere deeper down. Never got a chance to try them. No, they're awesome, though, a few years back. Well, if you were over here, I've got 3 more cans that I'd give you. Hey, kid, I might actually finish these. These aren't terrible. Probably excessive, we just want it to be good. He would undoubtedly appreciate whatever fan art you give him. You also have Dragon Milk Beer. I've heard about that. Never tried it. Probably never will. Dragon Milk is a stout, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would hate it. Doesn't mean you like it. Unfortunately, needs to be imported. Ooh, that's gonna be expensive. And you're my $11 for a 4-pack. Sounded bad. Yay, hype chest. Yay, choo-choo emotes. Had an ad pop up in a different tab. It was for a Wild Republic Coyote plush. How did they know? By the case to make it more reasonable? Maybe, but I wasn't even sure if I was going to like it, and I didn't want to throw down like even more money on more of the stuff. Alright, I need to look up what this plush is. So, Wild Republic Coyote plush. That is cute. Only $15 too. That's actually not bad at all, especially considering, you know, I still haven't got that dragon plush that I ordered back at TFF. Would have been cool if I'd been able to get that while Wilds is still here. Take it to him, just like, he's like, here, little Val is gonna keep you company until you get better. Yeah, I did order the big one. Had one that you took home with me back in 2017. First con you went to with Wilds and crew. Then traveled to and occasionally with you. Was never drank. Finally last year or two, opened it, tried it. It wasn't very good. Oh. Looking up an owl one from that place earlier and from another stream, and somehow now it comes back and says, yep. The fact that it was a coyote, too. How did they know? Also, another thing that I am slightly concerned about. I am a total lightweight. I don't drink alcohol, so my alcohol tolerance, my tolerance skill is 0. This one can is probably gonna get me somewhere. Don't know the song, but I like the lyrics. I like to think that he's also tuning in. Drink slowly with water. Yep, I do have water over here. In fact, I shall do that as well. But yeah, a couple of times I went to TFF with Wilds, or just kind of visited him at TFF, didn't actually attend myself. I would try out some of the beers that he would bring. Just, he's like, give me a little sip, and oh, they're all terrible. I hate them all. Of course, I also found out that every single one of them was a stout. So, maybe when you start singing karaoke on stream, we'll know you're feeling it. And a few songs that have a bit of new meaning now. Hurts a little to listen to them. There was one song that Wilds had told me about a long time ago. And I actually did look it up again. See if I can find it. Yep. New Moon by Swallow the Sun. It was one of the songs that he listened to while writing DITD, Dragon in the Dungeon. Both intrigued and concerned. And Wilds liked metal music. I was never a fan. And even looking this one up again, I still am not. But it's kind of hard to listen to these that were songs important to him. I come to think of it, a lot of our interests didn't really... we like dragons and we like video games, and I think that's really about it. Wilds was like, he likes beer, he likes metal, he likes going outside, which is definitely not something I do. Loved imperial stouts, especially bourbon barreled. Also be eating something to absorb the alcohol? Probably. I had a sandwich before stream, so there is that down there. Didn't really feel like hungry for much of anything else. But Wilds also liked fishing. I've only ever been fishing like a couple of times when I was a little hatchy. Song that comes to mind now, hard rock song, Edge of the World by Wolf. Don't know if it'd be up his alley, but between that and some Ozzy, I think the hard rock and metal would be appropriate. Can't really play that stuff on stream though, because DMCA, rawr. Fibs. Whee! Ooh, that's a big one. It's funny, I met Wilds, I actually checked, 12 years ago. I still have some of the original messages I sent him over for Affinity, because I was on FA, and I was just looking for dragon stories. And for Affinity said, hey, how about this The Dragon in the Dungeon? It's, you know, somewhat popular as a story can be on that particular site. It's mainly an art site, and stories don't get much attention there. Shut it, Tracken. I don't deny it. But at that time, I think they were up to parts, what, 6, 7, maybe even 8? And so I started reading and I'm like, this is very good. Just, yeah, you could tell the first one was intended to just be like a one-off, and then he's like, okay, I guess I'll do more because people are demanding more. And from there, it turned into like this epic saga spanning generations, and the tale of war and loss, and I guess grief, and dealing with it. Want to see at some point. Former book editor here. Well, Zep, if you're okay with what is essentially furry erotica... Oh, wait, yeah, So Furry is still down. Damn it. I can give you the link to the where it's posted on Fur Affinity. You'll probably have to create an account, though. Let's see. Fur Affinity / that's Coyote of the Wilds? Why is it not auto-completing? Nope. Coyote? Oh, okay, fine. User. You have an EPUB? Can you work with EPUBs, Zep? Iron Stuff Dragon Volner SD. I know we'll definitely have full, complete copies very soon, because had to sit through the writing equivalent of Movie 43. The bar is incredibly low. I am unfamiliar with Movie 43. But, oh, Dragon in the Dungeon text. I don't know how much of it he has up on his FA, but here is, I believe this is part 1. Let's see. Yep, dated 2012. That is part 1. And let's see if I can find how many parts he has up. Lots of fan art. Lots of fan art. You showed up in the community exactly 3 years ago. Man, it feels like you've been around much longer than that. Right off the heels of finding DITD and doing almost nothing but reading for a week. Let's see, Dragon in the Dungeon, Echoes of Sin. I think that was, okay, yeah, 8th installment, so it's a little bit behind. Eventually, So Furry will be back up again, and we'll be able to just say, here's all of them in a nice, organized mess. But they're moving data centers, so the site's down at the moment. Definitely says you don't want to know what Movie 43 is. Yeah, I guess I should look that up, too. Movie 43, and we'll just, you know, look at that later. It's been down for a while. Yeah. I don't know what exactly happened, but they're forced to move to a different data center, and they're having to basically just take all of their stuff and ship it someplace else, like a different physical location, and then set it all back up again. I don't know how long it's going to take. Hopefully they get it quick. You know, Wilds and I, we did watch a lot of movies. So, those of you who knew him knew he was very adventurous. He liked going out and doing things. And I am very not. I like staying home and doing little of nothing. So he was always like, hey, let's go see a movie, or let's go, you want to go get coffee? You want to go do a thing? Go to a place? And I'm like, no, but yes, but no, but yes. Let's go to a haunted bridge. It has to do with the change in laws regarding this matter. Oh, yeah. Yes, please. So, Wilds would get me out of the house. Often. Well, maybe not often. Kind of wish we did it more. But we'd go see movies at the Grapevine Mills Mall, which was kind of like a good halfway point between where the two of us lived. I was so excited when I found out that... Okay, so I read the stories that were, you know, posted up to that point, and I did something that I don't do ever. I reached out to the artist and said, your stuff is amazing. I cried. You made me cry face. You can be more adventurous if you're going some places that weren't in the city, given the chance. You know, traffic is an issue, yes. I hate driving in traffic. And so I just messaged him over the Fur Affinity notes, and he got back to me pretty quick, and we hit it off. It turns out that he was actually a super cool guy. And I asked, hey, are you on AIM? Because that's how long ago this was. We were still using AOL Instant Messenger. Oh, man. Age has passed. We're all so old. I miss the communities of AIM, but I don't really miss the program itself. Discord is so much better. More people on your roads than there are in all of Wyoming? Fact, yes. Alright, stuff, Crispy Lemur. Guess what? Guess what? You've been saying it all this time. I need to try mead. Wait. You get the horn back out. I has mead. Meridian Hive. Brewed in Austin, Texas. Just the tiniest of sips. Oh no, don't hold it like this. Oh, speaking of, when I set the horn, I actually looked up how you use a drinking horn and saw that it's, the horn tip goes down. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
You have a need.
A need for mead.
A need for mead, cast roar.
Rar and stuff, pretentious. Cheers. I just had a drink and I'm trying to pace myself a bit. Remember AIM, ICQ, and IRC? Yep. I was on all of those, although I didn't use IRC that much except for the Alt-Fan Dragons IRC group channel. Internet Relay Chat, right? Wasn't Internet Relay Channel? It was chat. News groups, no, that's Usenet, and I just use my email client for that. Used to be how he communicated back in Ultima Online. Uh-oh! Yep, Alt-Fan Dragons, ASVS. Alt-Fan Dragons was the only one that I ever hung out in. So, anyway, I was talking with Wild over AIM, of all places, and found out that he lived only like less than an hour away from me. And so we started doing stuff together. Occasionally, very rarely. Hated the ICQ uh-oh sound. It grew on me. I actually have it downloaded somewhere. I was going to use it as a joke in something and I don't remember what. Love these silly games with wild storylines. Oh yeah, I've been watching his playthrough of The Last Oricru. It's one of the few series playthroughs that's mostly complete still on his channel. Yep, I got the sound. Let me see if I can find it. Also, make sure that Winamp is still an audio source. It is. Let's see, do I have it in here? Need help. Maybe a bit. Don't see it in this folder, and this is the folder I probably would have put it in, so, oh well, whatever.
I spill my drink.
Alright, this time water. Oh, when you do the hydrate, it automatically spawns the horn. But then, wow, it's gone. You're soggy, Lellumgerb. Replace the default sound with the sub-sonar ping from Civ 3. I left it alone. Only time I ever got involved with like custom sound effects was on AIM, when I would have specific sounds that would play whenever certain people came online. First BP, and then later on Dracana. And they had their own sounds. I don't remember what I used for BP, but for Dracana, I used Fluby, the Kamikaze Watermelon. There's another old one. I think the first time that I hung out with Wilds, we just went to like a coffee place, and he talked my ears off about Dark Souls. I had not even heard of the game, and he was telling me about like how cool it is and how hard it is, and he was telling me about Ornstein and Smo, this duo boss fight, and I was like, I don't understand a word you're saying, but He convinced me to get into Souls. And when I first got Dark Souls 1, Prepare to Die edition, I hated it. Hated that game. I was dying and not making any progress and getting frustrated. And he's like, just stick with it. Stick with it. Don't give up. You can do it. And the thing is about it, even though I hated the constant parade and cavalcade of failures, I kept throwing myself back at it again. I'm getting angry, but I don't want to quit. And when I did finally beat the gargoyles, that's when I understood what the game was and why he liked it so much. Never heard of Dark Souls until like 2019. Just not aware of its existence. It was still pretty niche back then. I think it was really it was Elden Ring that put it on the map for everybody to see. Quitting means the game wins. Yeah. I still struggle to play Souls games because I still get frustrated with the repeated deaths and constant failures. You died only means you just begun. Strange thing is, you came around much after AIM, but hearing it sounded cool. It was a program. For the time, it was amazing. The fact that you could create a group and have a whole bunch of people join it, and you just have this big group chat with everybody. That was pretty cool. Nothing else did that, as far as I know. Not until I think like Skype. Now, Elden Ring, Sekiro, Dark Souls 3, pretty much high up there. Favorites of all time. Souls games are like being in an abusive relationship. I hate it. I hate it that it's kind of true. Dark Souls 1 has a way of making everyone bounce off it. And they try the game again another time later before it clicks. Yeah, it's one of those that not everyone's going to enjoy. And most people aren't even going to enjoy it. Most people who do enjoy it eventually aren't going to enjoy it when they start. I think even Wild said that he played Dark Souls 1 first. Didn't really care for it. Played Dark Souls 2. The one everybody hates. 2. And liked that one. Then went back and revisited Dark Souls 1 after he finally understood the series and what it was about. Elden Ring, a mortal shell clone. Yeah, AIM was Discord before Discord, pretty much. You couldn't have, like, organized servers. In fact, the chat rooms were basically just... It was just a name. You would open up this... You could actually create a chat room. You didn't even need an invite. You just say, chat room, join Drake Chat, and bop, there it is. I actually had a shortcut to Drake Chat saved on my desktop, so I could just pop that open and see if anybody was there. Love Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Wilds is one of the few people that defended that game. Do you think the unique sounds great? Yeah, I don't even know if you can do that with Discord. I guess you probably need Nitro. Drake Chat was pretty great. You know, that's a concern I have with Wilds being gone. He really was like a pillar of our social group. He was the bonfire we all gathered around. And whenever it reminded me of another one of my friends way back, Athagon or Athagon. I think he always pronounced it Athagon. He's the one who started Drake Chat, and when he left the community, Drake Chat just kind of died. I'm afraid that that's going to happen with Wilds' group, and I've got a lot of friends there, but I had a lot of friends in Drake Chat, and haven't really talked with many of them in ages. You are a noted DS2 enjoyer. Ah, a man of culture, I see. Not unique walk-in sounds, but they're unique soundboard stuffs. Okay, yeah, that's something that sounds kind of cool. I've never messed with it, but I know some servers that have it. Meanwhile, an awoo. I think one of the reasons Wilds liked Dark Souls 2 is that he is always he was a very positive and optimistic person, and he always saw the best in everything. He didn't really complain much, and he didn't was like, oh, this is trash, I hate it, brah, brah. Even the worst garbage, he'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. It had moments. He could name things that he liked about something, which carried over into his streams. You guys remember some of the trash that he played? Fairy, Last Aura Crew. Oh, what were some of the other good ones? What was that? The Goblin Orc game with Styx. not Styx the Heretic, the other Styx, the Goblin Styx. So he always found something to enjoy in whatever he was doing. So in the times we'd go to the theater, we'd see a movie. Sometimes it wasn't a good movie, but he would still say, it had, you know, this and this, and Majula. Happy to live in Manila. I always knew Styx would make it into a game. Rar and Stuff Dairy. Oh god, Balan Wonderworld. Okay. There are very few things that were just irredeemably bad. We did make the joke about the dolphin. We made the jokes about the dolphin, and that was fun. Wild streamed Balan Wonderworld. God, that's certainly a thing that exists. I don't know if I would rewatch those, even if we still had the VODs. It's some deep hurting. But he did beat it. Don't think many people can say that. He did beat Balan Wonderworld. I wish I had all his VODs too. The Borf voice made Fairy tolerable. For some people. For others, it made it worse. Linoff hated the Borf voice. Very little made Balan tolerable. Yeah. Trying to remember if we even came up with any, like, good jokes and running gags other than just how atrocious that game was. Yeah, with Borf, that became a running gag, and I think he long since forgot how Borf's voice even went. But every time we redeemed the Borf voice, he would do, what is it, like, kind of almost like a Kermit the Frog thing, but with high-pitched nasally voice. Had to try the Borf voice on his stream one day. It was terrible. This one time. So one of his other chat redeems was story time, and you can make him read a part of one of his stories. And I found a section of Dragon in the Dungeon, which I had always thought was very, very powerful and moving and intensely dramatic. And it was the "You Will Know" monologue. If you've read the story, you know it. Then you will know it. And I said, story time, you will know from DITD, but, and then redeemed Borf voice. I specifically waited until Linoff was there for that. Learned nothing from Balin. Maybe learned about Dave Thomas' verbal assault stories. I wish we had more of those. We've only got like, what, 3 of them? There's, we got the Tave Thomas story, which is pretty great. We've got the Soggy Mush Burgers. And then there was another one. It was a third one. I had just uploaded it the other day to my channel, to my YouTube channel. Absolutely diabolical. It was pretty mean. What was that other one? Like I said, I just uploaded it. Clam burgers. It was the Dave Thomas in the river grilling up some clam burgers. I wonder if that was right after Game Informer did one of their extra lives, and they had the clam decane. I wonder if that's what spawned that. I don't even know the dates and the times and the stuffs. I have to remember that line. Dave Thomas and the clam burger. Every single one of the Dave Thomas stories ended with usually him suggesting that Dave name his restaurant Wendy's after his daughter, because he loves his daughter so much. And Dave's like, "You are out of your fucking mind." And I think every single one of the stories ended with that. You're out of your fucking mind. He was really good at improv. Water.
I spill my drink.
Again! Oh, right. I was going through and downloading all of his Twitch highlights that were still there. I did contact Twitch to see if they could restore the ones they had deleted, since they had made a change to the policy saying you can only have so many hours of highlights saved, and he had basically just been saving all of his streams as highlights, so he was way past the limit. But unfortunately, he was in the hospital and couldn't do anything about it. And they said, well, deadline's passed, we're just gonna take a chainsaw to your entire archive, and whatever's left is left. Water's his best, didn't bring enough on a hike. Oh, should always have water. This part is Wendy's is pricey right now. Have one within walking distance and wanted a Frosty and a Coke, and the Coke was nearly $3.50. You know, you could get a can of mead for that price. Just saying. Ugh. Have a tiny little burp, and I taste the beer, taste the alcohols. You trying to sell yours? You know, if somebody said, "Hey, I'll buy the rest of those cans off of you," I'd say, "Yeah, sure, here." Game, set, and match. Like I said, I don't hate the mead, but it's definitely not something I'm going to try again. Well, I guess I'm going to have to finish the ones I got. The mall that we went to, the mall that we'd go to the theater. One time Resolute came down here, and it was like dead of summer at that time. In fact, it was just a few years back, and we had a record-breaking summer heat. And I was going to meet them at the mall and we were just going to hang out. And while I was waiting for them, I saw someone had left a yellow crayon on the ground outside in the sun, and it was completely melted. Unfortunately, you're in Pennsylvania. Thank goodness for Taco Bell next door. I think all fast food's too expensive now. I don't eat out anymore. I can't afford to. Used to be you'd go to fast food if you just wanted something cheap and quick. Now it's quick. You got that. Philly native. White Castle extra soggy buns. I've never been to a White Castle, and I don't think that will ever change. Also, at that mall, there's an arcade, and it's one of the last arcades that actually has arcade games, and not just, you know, prizes, claw games, win the thing, spin the wheel. It actually has some classic games and some new ones too, which is amazing. But there was one that was some kind of a thing, and it wasn't like a video game, it was like this weird machine thing, and Resolute and I were waiting at it while Wilds had, I think he went to the bathroom or something, I don't know. But while we were waiting there, the voice on it kept saying like, gigantic bonus! And because it's super loud in an arcade, then you might not hear it correctly. And so we kept thinking it was saying, gigantic boners! Agent Denton. My ass is augmented. Oh my god, it's so juicy! I think I tried to record it on my cell phone, but it was so loud in the arcade that you couldn't hear anything other than just noise, a cacophony of sound.
I am the Mac Daddy of Ass Kiss Roar.
I am the Mac Daddy of ass. What was that other one? Alright, step out of that jalopy and let's talk some ass. About to throw something and then started listening. Ryan Stuff Require. Wilds was great. Not a bad thing you can say about him. Yeah. Super cool guy. He deserved better than he got. His health problems. He had them for as long as I've known him. Probably. I don't know when exactly it started. He did tell me that he told the story of like whenever he first started having really bad anemia, and I don't remember when it was. And then they found out, oh, you've got paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, or PNH if you don't want to try to spell that mess out. Speaking of Twitch, does Dan Snacks know? Yes, he got the message while he was streaming, in fact, and yeah, D Squad is pretty broken up about it too. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a little post to D Squad. Let me just say, whoop, don't link that. Let me just copy this one. Copy text down into D Squad and delete the unknown role because they don't have Stream Horde there. Shrouded by Wings. There. Because they knew him as Shrouded by Wings, not as Wilds. It's a mouthful. It absolutely is. And I think whoever names medical conditions probably never actually has to speak them. We all got together. TFF, I almost said TF2, at Team Fortress 2 years ago. A lot of people didn't get the chance to meet him, so yep, you are one of the lucky ones. Got to actually hang out with him. Cha, dragon fruit. Gonna watch some Venture Brothers in his memory. Go Team Venture. Despite being awkward yourself, glad you got the chance to meet him. I'm glad I was able to introduce you to him too. I think you met him twice, because you came down for TFF 2 times. And both times I was like, over here, Wilds, Dracana, Wilds, okay. Wilds, sign my book. Yeah, I have a copy of Feral, which is an anthology book that has 4 stories in it. One of them is written by Wilds, one of them is written by Resolute. And I got him to sign the book that whenever I got it, and then at this last TFF I had Resolute sign his got a link for that. Let's see if we can. Nope. Unfortunately, Feral is not exactly a unique name. I think he might link to it on his Fur Affinity. Coyote of the Wilds. Oh no, don't be sorry. We gotta find this now. Let's see. Fur Planet, okay. Secure site not available. That's concerning. Why do they not have a secure site? Yeah, here we go. Yes, I did remember the exclamation point, but I don't think Google cares about that. Anyway, here's that. Again, adult. I haven't even read the other 2 stories in it. But yeah, that's the only published book that he has, if you don't count the ones where fans made actual physical copies of a couple of his books. I think Black Collar and Dragon in the Dungeon. And there's only like 2 of those in existence. Mainly bought it for his. Same. It's just a happy coincidence that Resolute had one in there too. Linking so much furry erotic porn stuff, we probably should make this an 18+ stream. But Zep, I can send you a what's this? BP, tell who? Because I only just now checked Discord and saw that. A lot worse, we could be sharing like a playthrough of Balin. I just noticed on Discord, said, tell them to check out Ten Sleep Brewery. And I was like, wait, who? Was this related to? Ryan Stuff, Stray Sheep, Fenrir. I've completely forgotten what story I was in the middle of telling. Oh. So, we went to see, several movies at the AMC over in Grapevine Mills, and some good, some bad. We did see the How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 3 there, and also we saw Star Wars. What was the second of the middle of the new trilogy? Was that Last Jedi? I actually can't remember the names of these things anymore. But it was the one that I absolutely hated, and it killed my interest in Star Wars entirely. Last Jedi, yes. He still had pretty nice things to say about it, even though neither of us were interested in seeing the last Skywalker? Whatever. the third one of the trilogy. Neither of us wanted to go see it. Despise that movie. Also saw Last Jedi and was like, man, was it bad. Yeah. Skywalker Rising? Is that what it's called? Like Rian Johnson, but Star Wars was not his strong suit. I think part of the problem on that one was that they were constantly changing directors, and each one had their own idea of where the story should go. And especially for the second one, when they said, hey, everybody's predicting all of these things. They're guessing where our story is gonna go. We need to make sure they're wrong, even if whatever we cook out makes no sense. The Rise of Skywalker, the Rise of Balin Wonderworld Land. Another successful IP Disney ran into the ground. Next to tell me it gets hot in Texas during the summer. It is hot down here. Although it hasn't really been that hot this year. It's just been uncomfortably warm. But we haven't broken 100 yet. Expecting that next week. I think that's the theater we went to watch the newer Batman in. One with the Riddler. I don't know if I went with you to see that. Because I don't remember seeing that movie. But it might be. It's one of the better theaters around here that's still around. Turbo laser sharts. Oh, that's accurate. Turbo laser sharts arcing through space. Oh, perfect. It was probably just you and Wilds. I know there were a couple times where we hung out at the, what was it called? The Harvest Hall, that little hotel restaurant place. Yep, sharts. Turbo laser sharts in Star Shart Wars. Did a beer tasting when we met. Cool. Knew each other a while, but it was the first opportunity to meet up. Shared all of his drink with us. Yep. I was saying earlier in stream that he did the same with me, even though I don't like alcohol. He's like, here, try this one. And it's like, oh, okay. Here, this one's got chocolate in it. And I was like, ooh, it has chocolate in it. Sharknado. Ooh, that would be a horror movie. Rare and Stuff Resolute. Shart Wars sounds like a YouTube poop. Probably, yeah. It might exist. How did you miss the start? Don't know. But, I have tried my mead. I don't absolutely hate it. Which is a unique first for me as far as any kind of alcohols are concerned. Well, no. The Midori Sour. I like that too. Maybe I just like fruity stuff. Just the tiniest of sips. Yep, still plenty of booze left. I got 3 more cans of this stuff if you want one. Thought the beer actually had chocolate. He said it was brewed with chocolate. I don't know enough about beers to know whether or not that's crap. But it was a certain kind of stout. I wouldn't know. Wise might. Yeah, nailed it. It's a stout. All the ones that he brought to the con were stouts, and I don't like them. Or didn't like them. Still don't, actually, so I guess that's true. Sounds about right. He was always willing to share his knowledge and beers. He's probably around or asleep. Tended to end up going to bed earlier than the rest of the crew. I know there was that one time that Dragonwise got so completely blasted drunk one night that he basically slept through the entire next day of the convention. Didn't even get up until like 6 p.m. Wines is tastes like, not added. Maybe he's different for beer. Like I said, I don't know enough about it. Yeah, Wise and Wilds both end up blasted more than anyone else. I think I've only seen Wilds get hammered a couple of times. Then again, I've only seen Wise get that way that one time. And he actually, Dragonwise actually said, he's like, I love you guys. And that's how you know you've had enough. Man, with Wilds gone, I don't know if I'm going to go back to TFF. He was pretty much the reason I went. He's also the reason that I got into Souls-likes, as I was saying earlier, so I don't know, I might not ever play any of those ever again either. Was that at the last TFF? No, it was years ago. If the group decides to go, you're getting dragged along. Okay, it's decided. Yeah, but if people say they want to go to TFF, sure, I'll go again. Will I still ARF? I might still ARF on occasion. ARF! You and Baral go, but not as cool as Wilds. I don't know, you guys are DJs. You're into cool music. I like your stuff. I like your jams. I'll definitely be going to Ferality more, though. The great thing about Ferality is that I don't have to leave the house. So I get to be a shut-in. Remember a similar story one night downtown Pittsburgh after you finished up a night in the TV studio. There was someone who had gotten so blasted that they were doubled over in the bus station. Actually thought they were gone. They lurched up, garbled something out. They were so blasted they could barely put two syllables together. Still hope for his late night streams sometimes. Me too. He never did get to play Technomancer. I was actually looking forward to watching him play that one. He was going to do all of the games made by Spiders, the development studio, not made by actual little spiders. And it started with Fairy, and then what was the second one? Was the second one that Orcs one? It's about 4 hours by train. Train rides are nice. Whenever we went to this last TFF, Dracana came here, and we would just take the train from Fort Worth to Dallas every single day. There were a couple of times we almost fell asleep on the train ride because it is long. Games made by Spiders are mostly web-based. Oh, Zep, if you have never met Resolute before, he is the pun bird. Nearest passenger train view is 7 hours away. Well, you'd have to take a flight to catch your train. Still have a couple puns left in you. That's good. I think that means that you're feeling a little better too. So also, Resolute was Wilds' boyfriend. So I imagine he's taking it a lot harder than any of the rest of us. excluding Wilds' direct family. Which, Wilds' RL brother, Phaser Honest, on Twitch. He hasn't streamed in a while, but he's also been in Wilds' Discord and keeping us up to date on the goings-ons there. And he was able to get into Wilds' computer and get his files, and I assume he's sending all of the stuff to you, Resolute? Only moderators can do that. But yes, we can do that. And I don't think you need the Phaser Honest or Onest. Yep, that's the guy. It's just they were last playing Just Chatting. Hey, that's what I'm playing right now. You thought he was sending the files to Jesus? Oh, imagine Jesus opens up some of those stories and it's like, dear me. Oh my me. Fa0 Nest. Wait, do you know that for sure, Tracken? Oh my me, this is pretty good. I have to go tell my dad to make dragons right now. Just spouting nonsense. Okay. I hadn't been able to read all of Impure, which is the latest story he's been working on. And of course now Sofuri is down, so it's going to be a little while before I can. Unless it's all up on For Affinity. For Affinity, I need to check that later. I think of all of his stories, though, I liked Black Collar the most. I like the mystery of what was the Black Collar. What is it doing to Alvaranox and messing with his mind, and why? What is it going to be? What's happening? So of course that was the furthest back story. It got shoved by the wayside so that he could work on all of his other things. Not caught up on FA or Royal Road. Latest chapter on Patreon is 24, and yeah, I don't have his Patreon. I've never subscribed to it. I was in his Discord because of Special Friend. I was the reason Here for the Spiral role was created. The Gasp! Hey, I subscribed to him on Twitch. Until a couple days ago. I went ahead and canceled that. I used his Wave emote a lot. I used his Dave Thompson emote occasionally. And Big Ilvar would very rarely make appearances. You got him to add the Big Ilvar? Nice. Can find a way to get those emotes. Well, I can get them too, because I do have his Telegram sticker pack. I could just say, hey, sticker downloader bot thing. Sticker downloadereth this. Still use those. I never really liked the shaking emotes. But I did like Borf, and I do like JC Denton. It's amazing how often that one can come in handy. After the ending of Oricru, I was like, well, we need a Big Ilvar emote now. We need to watch that. We need to freaking watch that one. Let's see, last Oricru... No, wait, Shrouded by Wings on Twitch. Just... Videos... Clips... Oh, look, I am on the screen. clips all. It's going to be one of the top ones, isn't it? The 2 top clips on his channel are both from Fairy. A stream of a stream? Streamception. Let's see. Where is it? His third most popular clip is actually from Last Oricru, and it's, oh no, my half-brother! And then there's This Is Oricru, which is from the demo, and that's what convinced him to buy the game. Where the heck is the dance party? Where is that scene? I'm not seeing it. I would think it'd be much higher rated than some of this other stuff. Is it really this far down?
I spill my drink.
Was it linked in Discord? I don't think it was linked. I think Raptor just, like, posted it. Posted the video itself. Which I suppose could work. But I don't have Discord set up as a audio source. Did he post the link or did he post the actual video? Stream clips. Yeah, actual video. Actually, you know what? I know how we could find it. We're going to go to the highlights, and we're just going to go to the stream where it's actually from. Because I remember... Oh, it wasn't a clip, it was a highlight. Alright, let's see. Whoosh. Make sure that... Wait. Okay, yeah, LibreWolf is an audio source. Alright, so... Behold the greatest moment in gaming history.
Turns out the thing you needed to stop to save the universe. I mean, maybe. What's this? What's this? We got a post-credit scene. What the hell is this? What? What the fuck? Are you shitting me?
Wasn't happening.
This is the best game of all time.
What is this from? The Last Oricru.
This is amazing. Is that zombified silver?
Now we know where their entire budget went. I like the
Well, that
thing
was
up
worth
here.
playing for.
WTF is an Aura Crew.
That might have been the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
We never did find out what an Aura Crew is. When developers don't take themselves too seriously, I think at some point they knew that what they had on their hands was B-movie schlock at best. And yet that game was absolutely fascinating. Not for the gameplay. God, no, not for the gameplay. It was terrible. As a Souls-like, it was awful. He hated that part of it. But the story and the fact that it was like branching paths and your choices could have radically different consequences on what happens. Narratively, it was actually really cool. Everything else about it was janky as hell. And then that's how they ended. Post credits is a rap song. Oh yeah, absolutely great lines that made it into his little soundboard. He said, "No more fresh meat for you, bitch." And hello? Any ladies around here? Which he says to a girl. Spellforce ends in a dance party. We will have gone too far. If it does, then it will be competing with Last Aura Crew for best game ever. But I think Aura Crew might still win because Aura Crew had some pretty high peaks even before then. As I was watching it, and I'm on like the second night, or well, third night, because night 2 is just gone. That's one of the videos that got deleted. But on night 3, he sees the ratkin mother in the cage, and when he goes to talk to her, she's like, "Are you here to free me?" And says, "Yes." Great. End conversation. You wanna hate him, but you can't, my friend. He's an alien from way beyond. Is that what the lyrics are? Assaulted by ads. Barf. Well, we can wait. I loved all the weird games that Wilds would find to stream. No end the ads. Wah. Subscribe with Prime.
And the ads were.
Wah. Thank you for the sub, Resolute. Enjoy the emotes and the no more ads. Wah. I also wish we could still find his Deus Ex playthrough, the original Deus Ex. Maybe Invisible War 2. And Human Revolution. And Mankind Divided. Because those were good games that also had really funny moments. This is gonna be weirder than... oh, that was, I'm going to die if I don't eat sushi! Yeah, that was, actually, I think that's the name of that game that, Ratson played. And yeah, that one was up there. Fish! Big fish! Metacritic for Last Aura Crew is fascinating. Oh, I have to know. I imagine the reviews are all over the place on that one.
I spill my drink.
Metacritic. Okay, first this. Alright, Metacritic. Last Aura Crew. .4, about right.
My drink.
I spill my drink. User score of 7.1. Even whenever Wilds was playing it, I was saying this is going to be one of those cult classic games that probably won't be received very well right now, but give it some years, give it some time, and it'll come back. Hindsight will come back, and people will respect it for what it is attempting to be, even if it doesn't really succeed. Alright, good night, Dragon Vulneresti. Really doesn't feel real that he's gone. You know, you have someone in your life that for over a decade, they're just kind of always there, and then when he's gone, it's hard to believe we're never going to see him again. Last Door Cruise is like Def Jam Vendetta. Maybe. I'm not familiar with that one. I know he always had health problems, and even years and years ago, every year he would write Christmas stories that were always just fueled by booze. He would start writing on like Christmas Eve and would post it sometime Christmas morning. Very little editing or proofreading or planning. It was just basically stream of consciousness nonsense. And one year he was dealing with health problems more than normal. And so the story he came out with was not the usual silliness that most of the Christmas stories were. It was called Pictures in the Snow. I kind of want to reread that one now, but I know it'll be sad. Can't remember who is credited with coining the term "write drunk, edit sober." The Christmas stories never got to that second step. Might have only been 3 years, but it was such a consequential 3 years. He touched a lot of lives. I was actually surprised to see, like, not just within his own community and the Discord group and the Telegram group, but also like over in D Squad, lots of people saying how much they're going to miss him there. And you look over at his writer groups, people that, like Baral and Require, who weren't even part of any of his communities, but they had met him, and then they find out, oh, he's gone. And they found out through other means. I didn't even tell them because I didn't know that they knew him. And so they came to me. It's like, I am so sorry for your loss. And it's like, you knew Wilds too? Dang, he got around. I wonder about like his fishing podcast. I guess since they were people that he knew locally, then they probably found out. Yeah, even in the Clouder. Yeah, the guy from China who just kind of posted his message in Chinese, and then Nico went ahead and, or is it Nico or Nico? I always thought Nico, but he posted a translation of it. We've had people from other countries all around the world in his Discord saying, my English is terrible, but this is the impact he had on my life. We'll admit, though, seeing Chinese characters and then just ball busting. Yeah. What was it? So, Chinese letters, the year 2020, more Chinese stuff, So Furry website, Chinese Wilds, more Chinese dragon ball busting. Sometimes, gotta love a loan word or two, sometimes words just either don't have a translation or it's just easier to use the original word. Yeah, that's a thing that I was never really into and is featured a lot in his stories. But, you know, it's kind of funny sometimes too. Sucks that they'll never be finished. He was always starting new stories. He'd be inspired to tell a tale of new characters in a new world. Few times you'd argue that Rev didn't deserve it. Just a few, though. Most of the time he did. Maybe ball busting is just untranslatable. There's certainly got to be a word for it in Chinese, but it might not translate back to English very well. Hamilton the musical comes to mind. Sad you never got to meet him. He might have been in at least in here, hanging out with in chat whenever I was streaming. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. His streams were a lot of fun. Oh, why do you write like you're running out of time? Backstroke of the West. It's been more of a role player in the past and still do with select folks groups you like in Pathfinder game. Used to talk with Wilds off and on about random character ideas, world ideas, whatever, and he'd always have new ideas that he'd pop back with. I'm Borf! I was looking through the chat logs with Wilds to try and find when like certain things happened, and I found where he first showed me the link to Fairy and said, I'm starting a new series on my streams. It's going to be a WTF is, and we're going to look at like weird games, and this is going to be the first one. And then later on he came back and said, it's a spiders game. I have to play it now. And the character name is going to be Borf. I've already decided. I guess on the plus side, he'll never have to play that again. That's been a chat redeem, or a channel point redeem that's been waiting on him for a long time. You always give you shit for that redeem. Yeah, I don't know if he ever actually planned on getting around to it. There are too many other actual good games. And you know Fairy wouldn't be nearly as funny the second time around. Because we were already expecting its comedy of Borf, of read the newspaper. Aren't stuff, Ragna. Forgot you bought Fairy because of Shrouded. You paid 99 cents. You actually bought that game? I was actually contemplating getting Last Aura Crew. After a point, really didn't want him to. Became more amusing of a meme. Yeah, Fairy was going to be the eternal meme of his channel. He was maybe going to play Fairy since it's short. He was probably not going to get to the other punishment redeems too many games he actually wanted to play. Yep, and I'm fine with him playing stuff that he actually wants to. What's that one Final Fantasy game where like the characters are all chibi looking and it's like characters from a whole bunch of the different games kind of mashing together? That one I was actually curious about. Because I wasn't sure if that was good. No, it's not Tactics. World. Maybe it was World. Yeah, World of Final Fantasy. That's it. I was kind of curious about that one. It sounded interesting. Joke that I would literally redeem the cancel of it one day. What if... Oh, man. He did have other redeems to like make him play Dark Souls or Elden Ring, or, you know, it was a prepare to die, and you'd define what build you'd want him to use. What if whenever he tried to play Fairy, we would just immediately redeem that and make that the rest of the stream. It just, he never would get the chance to play Fairy. I would have done that. It's grindy at a time, but it's every Pokemon-esque game ever. Hilariously cataclysmic. It's basically the opposite of what BP did to D&K Lioness whenever Dank was trying to play, or he was finishing Majora's Mask, and he was about to ascend the clock tower to face the Skull Kid, and BP redeemed Change My Game.
I spill my drink.
Alright, we're hitting the mead this time. Gonna make him play Ice/Fire build in DS3. Can you do that? Because that's like a pyromancy and a sorcery mix. Didn't he have a goal of 1,000,000 points for FF7? I don't even remember. That might... If he did, it might still be there. I thought FF7 was just something he wanted to play eventually. Oh yeah, you wanted him to play, what was it, the Game Boy version or something? Or just play play Majora's Mask again on a different platform, different console? Let's see. Go back to Shrouded. Something ice, something dang buffers. Dang ice buffers. Let's see, what's down here at the very bottom? He has a 1-bit... Okay, that would be the one. For 999,999 channel points, you can redeem Don't Play That Garbage. Final Fantasy VII was only 300,000, which I have 175,000. So, wasn't quite there. What's this? First for 100,000? You are the first to spend 100,000 points on the first claim. Yep. That was kind of his sense of humor. Yeah, ended up forcing him to play the OG Ninja Gaiden. And that one, getting off topic and talking about Dank Lioness, wasn't that the playthrough where he did actually beat it? No. He beat it on another run. And when he dealt the finishing blow to the final boss, he actually started crying. Ninja Gaiden was rough. Another game of his that I wish was still up there was Last Hero of Nostalgaia. It was a really interesting Souls-like, but had a lot of like cool video game references. Like everything was a reference to some other video game character, property, item, thing. That's one that I wish we could go back and rewatch that and just kind of pick out the references. And also, you know, the story was pretty interesting for a Souls-like. It was very meta, yes. Pink was streaming just after you redeemed that, so you asked Pink what he thought of your bit of trolling. Oh, that's right. Said he loved it, and that you were a legend, so then you redeemed Change Your Game and made him play Ninja Gaiden.
I spill my drink.
Need another giggle. Alrighty. About to run out of channel points. Well, just water that time. Miss the days of the legendary trolling. Yeah, I miss whenever we had all the Clouder going. We had, you know, Dank, Jared, Pink Contender, Ratson. RL has not been kind to anyone. I will be your sword. Just tell me where to swing. I am the shield of Rosaria, and I will do my duty. RL sucks. Yeah. This year has been pretty hellish, but this past week has been the absolute worst that I have ever lived through. Oh yeah, don't worry, BP has more, he basically has infinite channel points. You don't ever have to worry about him running out. He is here for every stream, and he's been here since I started. And always subbed, so he gets double the points. You had a cry a bit.
I spill my drink.
Okay. I'm actually running low on water. Had a bit of a cry a bit back because you realized that never watched me finish 16. Yeah. Probably gonna be hard for you to go back to that game now. He loved Final Fantasy 16. On a 124 stream streak. Yeah, the way I've been dealing with it lately is watching a lot of his old videos, going through his clips, his highlights, remembering the good times, remembering the laughs. That's what he would have wanted. But I will say,
I spill my drink.
alright, need this time. And also water. I have so much mead left. Ah. We had a lot of good times, though. We had a lot of laughs. Just that last week, this past week, past 2 weeks, really, because Resolute had messaged me during a stream saying, "Hey, I sent you a thing over Telegram explaining what's going on." And I was like, "Okay, check it later." And after stream, I looked at what he had said, and I was like, "Oh shit, oh fuck, no." And it only went downhill from there. He was, like I said, he had health issues.
I
And
spill my drink.
to the waters! Uh-oh, it's BP's turn. I know what's coming. Send that mead to Thirsk. About done with your first locker. Crack open another. I'm not going to do more than one. Twitch added watch streaks. I don't think I missed a single one of his streams. I tried to catch every single one of them, but sometimes he would start super late and I'd just be tired. Put the timer on the redeem because you spammed it. Oh, I did! Thanks, past me, for having that foresight.
I spill my drink.
PT causing chaos as usual. Yep, that is his jam. That is his style. Why is my arm doing that? Kefka is best villain. Yep. Well, Emmett Selk. I do like Emmett Selk. So you're trying to lick out the last drops? Oh, there's more than just a few drops. I think I might only be like through half the can, maybe not even that much. And then he becomes Emmett Selk. Oh. So, regarding Wilds' health issues, I mentioned that he had PNH, and if you don't know what that is, his bone marrow was not making his blood correctly.
I
So,
spill my drink.
hard to argue with Emmett Cell. Still prefer Kefka. Emmett is a strong second. I would consider him to be at least on par with Kefka, if not even better. Whoop. Manual. Paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria is the full mouthful. I said it. I said it correctly. Once I get to the bottom of this can of meat, I probably won't be able to say it again. But it's a condition where your body isn't making it's a bone marrow thing, and your body's not making blood cells correctly. So your blood is missing a very important protein that your immune system uses to identify things that are friendly. And without this important protein, your immune system looks at your blood and says, "You shouldn't be here." Once you get to the bottom of the mead, you will probably need the bed. This might end up being a short stream. Actually, it's definitely going to be a short stream because I'm not ready to get back into gaming. Oh, the bone marrow is missing the protein. I thought it was the blood that was. So, the way you treat it is with an incredibly expensive medication. In fact, I've even seen commercials for it on TV. It's called Ultomiris. It is, if not the second most expensive medicine in the world. And he's having to go in and get infusions like every other week of it. Was it every other week, or no, that was the previous one. Ultomiris was even less frequently. Be ready whenever you decide to stream again. Rune warriors, stand by him. Very well, off I go. Is missing from the hemoglobin. Don't actually recall if it's missing from the marrow too. Yeah, it's medicine stuff. The problem is most people that have this condition also have really, really bad anemia. Wilds was lucky-ish in that regard, that he didn't have that until just this past year or so. And that's when that finally set in. In fact, I can throw some numbers at you. Let me see if I can find it. Alright, so this is actually from... got a medical link here. That's all about the thing that we are discussing. Meth is only one letter away from math. Unfortunately, math only ever has you looking for X, never for E. So, Wilds was in the hospital a year ago, and when his blood really started turning bad. A medical link from Dr. Mono? He might actually be a real doctor. If not, he plays one on the internets. A theory that COVID can cause PNH to switch from the attack's blood cells to the attack's bone marrow, and he did get COVID before this all went bad. From the competitors, you work at Mayo Clinic. Oh, so you are Dr. Mono. I never really knew you were a doctor. I just thought that was a name. He was relatively anemic compared to general population, but it didn't slow him down. Yeah. He always had way more get up and go energy than even I did. But I think he knew. I think he knew his time was limited. His days were numbered, and he was going to get in as many exciting and adventures as he possibly could squeeze into that time. In fact, earlier I mentioned one of his stories that he wrote, the Christmas story, Pictures in the Snow. And in that one, he even basically addressed, this condition could kill me at any minute. Maybe not at any minute, but it could turn bad at any time and just take him out. So that was always looming over his head. D-Squad folks know, but you try to separate fun and work. And persevering through all of that was an inspiration. Long been going through something of an opposite where he had the weakened immune system. Mine is actually overzealous and your white count multiplies higher than most. Yeesh. That's also not good. You ever wondered why I tend to be sluggish or slow? That has a good part to do with it. Body is basically drains itself of energy with this. As of now, it's still an unknown as to why, what and why, despite tests and monitoring. You only talked with him about? Yeah, I had no idea. I never even knew that you were, slow, sluggish, as you said. I guess because I have my baseline, which is, I don't want to do stuff. I'm a lazy derg. I just want to stay home. It usually takes someone else to say, hey, let's go do a thing. Wild's invited me out on a lot of adventures, and that's like, okay, well, I don't want to, but I do want to. He got me out of my comfort zone a lot. Rar and stuff, Churchy. This Wild's for you. I want to stay in and snuggle. And the Yobi's like, snuggle later. Adventure! Also suffer from an overactive immune system. That's what causes your eczema? I never really looked into what would cause eczema. I just know that you have that skin condition, and it really doesn't like our hot summers here. Sounds like true introvert speaks. Absolutely 100%. I am a total introvert. How on earth I have been streaming for 6 years now. Mysteries of the universe. Skin condition. The sun hates you. Yeah, you burn like with no exposure. Just you walk outside and you're already burning. Wilds in the community helped you through a very rough time when I was extremely depressed. Could never thank him enough for that. The power of Durg compels you. Well, Wilds was a coyote. He was a dragon dreaming he's a coyote, but I think the coyote is just kind of the number one. There's a reason you wear UV clothing year round. Yeah, even though you live up where you have summers that are even hotter than here in Texas, you'll still go out in a full jacket, hood, hat, as much covering as you can get away with. This community has nasty tregs. Yes. We're very bad at trigonometry. Wow, this is like your first online friend ever. Actually help you do stuff online, albeit not much. Yeah, we have not reached 100 degrees yet. And you've had it, like I said, it's hotter up there than it is here. Ours is more of a humid heat, yours is a dry heat, which supposedly makes it more tolerable for you. Anyway, I was saying things. I blame the mead. Last bit of education. Regulatory's T-cell. Ah. That's a treg. Okay, T-reg. Gotcha. Humid heat is the worst. Resolute, I can't remember if you've ever been here. Yes, I was even talking about it just earlier. We were talking about that time you came down here and there was the melted crayon. We went to the arcade with that one machine that was always going, gigantic boners. It's so warm, some dumbass was trying to turn a skid steer vehicle and tore up the road because it was so hot it was melting. Ugh. That machine. Oh, you did get a recording. Excellent. I thought that we tried to get a recording and it was like too loud in the arcade to hear it. Yeah, you met Resolute at TFF, but TFF is not during our hot season. The melted crayons and the gigantic boners. So, I think Resolute might actually be onto something, that Wilds, in his severely immunocompromised state, did get COVID, which was pretty scary. And he had to go in the hospital and stay there for a while with that. And it's entirely possible that switched his PNH to murder everything mode. Because it wasn't long after that's when his anemia really, really kicked in. And numbers. All right, Dr. Mono, you are doctor, so you should be able to understand numbers here. This is from last year. In fact, almost a full year ago today. His hemoglobin level was 4.8 and his platelet level was 35K. Normal is 13.8. Remember, his is 4.8. And platelets, normal 150 to 450K. His was 35. That's really whenever his the anemia really started kicking in and kicking his ass. And he's been dealing with that for a year. Was dealing with that for a year. He was struggling for several months with lingering COVID symptoms and issues, which we totally expected that to happen. Long-term COVID is a thing that even healthy people have to deal with. I remember, actually still have DM whenever you got the result. Oh, okay. Mom's white blood cell count during her kidney issues was over 20K. And Mag's normal white count is 20K. But yeah, that's whenever the anemia really started on him. It was about last year after he got COVID. And then after that, he was going into the hospital getting transfusions just about every other week. Trying to get his levels back up again. And then he got the infection. The first infection, which the abscess. And I was actually able to visit him in the hospital for that one. I might not have communicated my intent to drop in on him very well, because I was asking him like, oh, what hospital you at? Okay, I can drop on by sometime. And then I loaded up on the car and I went there. And it's like, hi, I'm here. What room are you in? Iron Stuff Darthwing Games. Did you know Wilds? Of the Wilds, Shrouded by Wings here on Twitch? But I was able to visit him in the hospital there. You did? I imagine you've heard the news then. Ryan Stuff Nick. So, yeah, I visited him in the hospital. I saw the D-Squad bear. I provided some essential medical care to him by plugging in a machine that was giving a low battery warning. He's like, oh, that's not supposed to be unplugged. And after he got out of the hospital that time, he was out for, what, not even 2 whole weeks. before he had to go back in, this time with new and improved infections, which we still haven't given the full details publicly, so I won't go into detail, but when Resolute told me what it was, even then I was very afraid. He still had the bear on display in his room. I'm not surprised. He was a huge fan of Dan, which, finding out that Dan is actually coming to DFW in, like, a week or two? And he missed it. Sucks. Because he would have loved to meet Dan. But he had told me that Dantac was his favorite streamer. I, as a streamer, felt slightly hurt, but I also understood because Dantac is good stuff. He had MRSA and multiple fungal infections, one of which was confirmed. Okay, so we are saying the word. Mucormycosis. Yep, when you told me that's what it was, you told me even then, like 50% mortality rate. I don't think I streamed again after that. They got the MRSA under control, but the Mucor was most likely. Do you remember Dragoneer? Dragoneer's situation similar only to the extent that he was also taken down by a fungal infection in the lungs. But the big difference was, and I had to tell myself repeatedly, Dragoneer did not have insurance. He could not even stay at the hospital. So they basically just said, oh, you're sick, out, we need this bed for somebody else that has money. And they didn't even find out what exactly he had until after he was already gone. And there's Kyrsis, the spouse of Ocean Tigrix, and the writing. I don't know either of them, but I'm guessing something similar happened to them. So when Resolute told me what Wilds was in the hospital with, I had to tell myself, he is in one of the best hospitals in the state. They know what he has, so they can target treatment specifically to it. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. Please be okay. And he wasn't okay. It just kept getting worse, and they couldn't... The fungal infection that turns south very, very fast. Yeah. Best hospital in the state. If they couldn't help him, nobody was going to be able to. And no one was able to. And then when Resolute told me that they were basically out of options, that they were just making him comfortable. Actually, no. Back it up. When Resolute told me it was the mucormycosis, I wanted to just drop everything and go to the hospital and visit him. And that's whenever he also told me, nope, they're keeping him sedated. There is no visiting. They're keeping him sedated and isolated. He did have targeted treatments, but yeah, he couldn't beat the odds. Raises a glass to Yobi. Was he in any discomfort? Unknown, because they had him knocked the heck out. At the end, no?
I
Good.
spill my drink.
That's good to hear. Water. At least there was that. Also, it didn't help that his phone broke. Couldn't even message him in the last weeks. So, after Resolute told me that they were just making him comfortable and waiting for the end, I sent him one final message, just saying I was going to miss him. Hope maybe that he'd see it someday, that it would be wrong, that he'd get out of there, that he'd pull through somehow. Wasn't to be. Tracker is doing some weird stuff tonight. Sent him a farewell, but don't know if that's crazy or not. I don't think it's crazy at all. It's kind of a way of saying goodbye. The only way that we had available to us. If he somehow had bad luck with illnesses, all of the things we have mentioned are 1 in a million rarity. Which, Resolute did tell me, they are donating his body to science so that they can study it. And maybe, just maybe, the next 1 in a million case that happens, they can actually save. Update on that? Stop the presses? They were not able to take his body, reason unknown. Rhyme stuff, Malchior. Tracker is drunk. I have not given it any mead yet. Do not blame it on the alcohols. Needless to say, donate blood. Yes. Remember, when you donate blood, you save 3 lives. Maybe his family was against it? No, his family wanted to donate his body. So instead, he is being cremated and his ashes scattered where he liked to fish. You know what? That's a good place. Tracker stole the Scaldian cider. Don't drink that stuff. It might taste good, but it's grown from trees growing on things. You'd 100% want to spare someone even an ounce of what he went through. Yeah, whenever you told me that they were wanting to donate his body to science so that it could be studied and maybe they figure something out, I thought, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Should you drink some skoomba? Probably not. That stuff is actually illegal and will mess you up. Breaking promise? Promise? His records would be useful for digital twin algorithms. I'm guessing that's a medical science-y thing that you know more about. More nerd stuff. Nerd! But we appreciate all the medical things that people and doctors like you do for us. But also, nerd! Points finger at me. Durg! Yes, am Durg. Don't have it in you to write a goodbye. Break down too much acknowledging that it happened in chat messages as it is. The, what was it? The picture that, was it? The, I've already forgotten. In fan art. Hirok, that was his name. That Hirok shared. That one. You know what? We show it. I'm gonna... In case there are people here who have not seen it. RMMs made you cry at work. This one broke me. This is the one that broke me the other day when I saw it. And I think I'm keeping it together pretty well tonight. But I'm also just barely holding it at bay, too. I blame the mead. Blame the mead. Even though I'm not even like halfway through the can. I'm doing okay-ish, but eyes are doing the leak again. I was afraid that I wasn't going to be ready to do this and that I would just completely break down right as we started. But I'm glad I have all of you here too. Times like this, wish there was a way to actually send hugs and not virtual ones. Chat hugs can be just as good sometimes. Sometimes. Group hug on Burb and Durg. On all. Hugs all around. Hugs. There is a hug button somewhere. Let me try this. Oh, that's not hugs. Oh, Wilds would approve of where that landed. Pets. It's a sign. He watches from above, dropping anvils on me. The anvil of censorship. Anvil of squashinating. Yay, big hugs. And cliff racers. No hugs for the cliff racers. No, I've been Antwerped. Oh, I can't believe someone else is gonna make that reference. I love the Quest for Glory games. I played through them on stream. Those videos are actually still up on YouTube. Wilds was not a big fan of puns. He hated them. He hated puns. And so me and Resolute would torment him endless. Hi? I have donut now. How long can it stay there? I don't want to move. Okay, it's gone. Managed to not cry anymore the last couple of days, and all this got you again. I was doing okay back on Friday, I think. I managed to go the whole day, keeping it together, and then on Saturday saw that picture, and it's like, well, guess I'm not done yet. Was it Saturday? Whenever it was. I managed to go a whole day, and then the next day, nope, still not past it. Yesterday, went over to your parents to have a support dinner with them. Sister, brother-in-law, teen nephew. Supposed to be just get out and have some distraction. Turned out to be a different distraction. Uh-oh. Nephew slipped on the floor, ended up with a 6-inch long shard of wood. No. So they had to go to the ER. Make sure your parents didn't break down. Distraction failed successfully. Yes, nephew's okay. No. So, when I was little, there was a swimming pool that was up the road from where I lived, and my dad would take me there every now and then. And I was still very, very small, and I just wanted to get a drink of water from the water fountain. But I couldn't reach it. It was too high up for me. But I used to climb. And so I climbed up onto the water fountain to get a drink. Got my drink, and then it's like, okay, drop back down to the ground. Babby Cast story. And there was a shard of glass right where I landed, and I was barefoot, and that went through. My dad had to carry me back to the house, and we had he filled a little tub with some alcohol, not the good kind that you drink, which I don't really think is the good kind, but not drinking alcohol, the Bernie Hurdy alcohol, and I got to put my foot in that, and that was fun. So, yes, things and feats is for me. It brings memories. Well, at least everything was okay, and there was no long-term damage. Ow. Can feel the burn. Would hella sting as a little kid? It did. Don't feel like you need to... Yeah, that's another thing. Don't feel like you need to put a time limit on mourning. Everyone does it differently. Everyone approaches it differently. Like, for me, I was watching his old videos to laugh and enjoy the good times that we had. Others in the Discord didn't want to do that. They couldn't do that. We all handle it in our own ways. And in our own time. Still cry at dad and grandmother's graves years later. That does surprise me a little bit because I know you and your dad were not very close. But you never really know how someone's loss is going to affect you. Or the loss of someone is going to affect you. Trying not to cry because you're at work. I know there were some people in the Discord that they ended up leaving work because they just couldn't. The closest of his kids. Pets. Rare and stuff, Lone Dragon. The day the news dropped, you're so sick you would just call in sick. Yep, a lot of people did. I guess my version of calling in sick is not streaming, and I haven't streamed in like the past week. Nom 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 nom. And I'm still don't think I'm quite ready to come back yet, but I felt like I needed to do this. To just have this moment with all of you. So we all gather around, we tell our stories about the adventures that we had with him, what he meant to us, and we all kind of heal together, just a little bit. Very fortunate, boss basically bent the rules to give you bereavement leave. Yeah, I'm guessing since you two weren't married, and depending on where you live, It may not even be recognized as a real relationship, even if you were. So, your boss is a cool guy. And you can tell him I said so. They probably won't care. Random Durgan on the internet says you're a cool guy. Weren't married, but we weren't living together. So technically you kinda were. I guess to the extent that Wilds would visit you rather frequently. Who was it? There was someone, I think over in the Telegram group, that had an altercation. Can it stay? Can it stay? Can it stay? Oh. Had an altercation with one of their co-workers that said, it's like, what's the big deal? You never even met him. Just because you've never met someone in real life doesn't mean that they can't affect you on a deeply emotional level. It's with the donuts tonight. The donuts are trying to give me hugs. Macrophile.
How skibbity?
You know, the healing provided by dragon fruits. Whoop, nom 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 nom. Doesn't quite work on this. Pop, pop, Durg.
I spill my drink.
Alright. Need time. Ah. Maybe, wait. Ah. The cliff racers can't even reach me to hit. Oh, there it goes. It's pie noon, just as Macrophile is ending. Yeah. I am defended. Ah. Whoa. Normal size pies. Pet the pies. You're just petting my pies. You see the text of the note in front of the the hand. I was just remembering, Wilds was really excited about Death Stranding 2 coming out. He wanted to play that as soon as he got out of the hospital. Possibly not going to stream it there.
I spill my drink.
They're not petting the pies, they're rubbing them into my face. Well, don't do that. That makes an even bigger mess. Go home, Tracker. You're drunk. Might be able to stream some... I'm guessing Death Stranding 2, not Dark Souls 2. Going through Shroud's FA. Lots of good stuff. Did you make an account? Already home and you're only a little buzzed. It hasn't quite totally gotten to that point with me yet, but then again, I am very slowly going through this thing. No account. Okay, so that means you're only seeing the safe for work stuff. Fur Affinity will not.
Your home tracker.
So on Fur Affinity, you can't see the NSFW unless you create an account. Can Sam actually get hit by lightning? So, Wilds was he was super excited for Death Stranding 2 because he really liked Death Stranding 1. And I remember whenever he played it, and the internet was really divided on this game because it was so unusual. And Wilds was into it. He was liking it. And someone comes into his chat And it's like, you don't really like this game. You're just saying Kojima paid you to say that. It's like, yeah, Hideo Kojima paid me to say that I like this game to my audience of tens of people. It's marketing budget well spent. Disappointed the game wasn't like what the one in the trailer made it look like. I don't even know what the trailer was trying to make it look like. I was deeply confused in the lead up to that game's release. But this guy comes in and is accusing Wilds of being paid off to say he likes the game, as if Kojima would have personally written out a check for him. Just, here, tell your audience. He's a very small-time streamer. He has a slightly bigger audience than I do, and most of my audience is people from his channel. So, to be fair, Kojima definitely would if he thought it was funny. Okay, that is fair. Yes, he probably would have. Just for the lulz of it. Kojima he is somewhat of a troll in that regard. See, he'll do things that no one else would even approach, just because he's a weird guy. You know what? Not troll. He's weird. Eccentric. I think that's the proper word. Does what he wants. There you go. He added in a VTuber? What? Those two trolls with poison. No, that's not Kojima. You're thinking Hidetaka Miyazaki, the Dark Souls guy. Kojima is the Metal Gear guy. Remember when Miyazaki drove a truck full of money to your house? Oh yeah, he told me, here, I will pay you off to say that you like Elden Ring. And I'll be like, oh, but I wasn't going to stream it. I was going to watch Wild stream it. So I played it and I said that I liked it. Nobody was watching. I didn't stream it, but I still got paid. York the Orca with the raid. Playing some good old, no, not good old, Oblivion Remaster. Rar and Stuff Raiders. This is a bit of a, it's a bit of a night. We're talking about an old friend who passed away recently, and we're just sharing stories, sharing drinks. But if you happen to know of the Wilds or Shrouded by Wings here on Twitch, tell us a little something about them. Tell us about your adventures.
Yes, dragon fruits.
Dragon fruits. Nom, 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 nom. It's been a very hard week. Harder for some more than others. I'm hanging in there. I'm keeping it together as best I can. Resolute Rights here in chat was Wilds' boyfriend. So he's on the lower end of the keeping it together scale. But yes. ARF! Oh, speaking of, I haven't seen any kind of updates. Did Linoth ever settle on the kind of tattoo that she wanted to get? I know she was going to do a coyote paw print and then some text. And we were all saying yip yap yop. I've actually thought about getting a tattoo of basically the same thing. Sorry to raid and run. Gotta feed doggos. Alrighty. Thanks for dropping in, York. Yorka the Orca. What kind of dogs you got? Gonna get an Expedition 33 tattoo. Oh, nice. I haven't played that game. Two muddy dogs, so dogs. Yip yap yop in the style of life, laugh, love. Imagine a dog. You got it. think it was Yambi that won the poll. Okay, yeah, Yambi was the one that won the poll, but Yip Yap Yop wasn't even on the poll. Hearing his Hank Hill impersonation, I think you shared with Wilds the Hank Hill stands. Oh yeah, the was that the JoJo one? Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Let me see. I might have sent that to him. Where is it? Yobi. What was that video called? Ah, dang it. Yeah, let me just search for this link specifically. Because I know I sent it to him. Nope, nothing. No results. What about if I just search for the video tag thingy? Mwah. Nothing. Dang. Maybe I didn't send it over Telegram. Yip of the Muse says she is not decided. Okay, well, heading out. Alright, good night, Dr. Mono. Thanks for dropping in and hanging out with us. Educating our asses. Too afraid of needles to ever get a tattoo. You know, I'm kind of the same way. I intensely dislike needles. And seeing the infusion needle that Wilds would get, that gave me the heebies and the jeebies. And he would just do that multiple times a month. Of course, he also said he didn't have a whole lot of choice in the matter, so I guess there is that. Considered a tattoo of the skull plate lines on your head. That would track for you, yes. Could actually be pretty cool, too. Don't have any tattoos, only because, you know, you get bored with it before too long. Yeah, that's been my issue, is that I didn't want to get a tattoo that's I am stuck with forever, because I don't know of anything that I would want to be stuck with forever. But maybe a little memorial thingy for Yobi. Most gigantic needle that I ever see is the dentist one. Consider getting a Triforce on the back of your left hand. Courage, right? I think we talked about that back when I was playing Ocarina. The only thing I want to be stuck with forever is Dracana. Yes, facts. Speaking of, this just kind of sprung on us last night. I will be going to visit Dracana for our respective birthdays in August. So the week of the 10th, just that whole week, I will not be here, so no streams. Probably no stream on the following Monday either. Gay! It is most specifically not. Thought to get the Starfleet Delta. Nice, cool. In the shape of the USS Defiant. UV ink isn't FDA rated and doesn't last long. Oh, man. See, UV ink would be kind of cool to have. So it's like all glowy and lighty-uppy. Just have a surgery wound thinking about covering with a tattoo if you ever decide to get one. Needles don't bug you. Literally fall asleep in the dentist office while they're drilling on your teeth. And that's despite they have to give you multiple shots because you burn through anesthetics faster than most people. It's apparently a redhead thing. Triforce of Courage in UV ink, which we just established doesn't last long. Super disappointing. It just means that you don't have courage forever. Yeah, I think I just don't like alcohol, just in general. Once that alcohol flavor goes away, you can actually taste the honey and the other stuffs, then it's like, oh, this isn't that bad. I like this. It's just the alcohol part that I don't like. Needles have always bothered you too. At least not looking at them when you get stabbed. Yeah. So I donated blood a couple of times, and I very distinctly, very specifically did not look at it when that was going on. When you think about it, all the elements of the Triforce are fleeting things: courage, wisdom, power. None of these things are eternal. Dang, that's some wisdom there. Donated blood, but have you spilled your drink? Not recently.
I spill.
There it is. Took a minute. About to the bottom of that water. Time you have blood drawn for blood tests, you have to point out, no, use this vein. Yeah, Wild, since he had so many, he was always going in for infusions and stuff. He had a lot of scar tissue on his veins, and they had difficulty finding places where they could still poke him. Good times, I guess. I think at the last time when I visited him at the hospital, he basically said, yeah, just put in a port for all this stuff we're going to be doing. Just put in a port. Just have a massive freaking vein in your arm that can be seen easily, and yet they can still miss it. Sounds like you just got some bad nurses doing that. Wild's had a good laugh whenever, one time, more than once really, but one time my mom had to get like blood drawn for something, and the nurse was very inaccurate, and so she called her Harpoon Harriet. And Wild's had a good laugh at that. I imagine he's had a few of them too. I feel like I should have more stories about Wilds than I actually do. Oh, not specifically, but so there's a place, I mentioned it earlier, Harvest Hall. It's a little hotel restaurant area that is on the train line. So I could just take the train from like a couple miles up from my house and goes all the way up into Grapevine, stops there. And Wilds, being the cool guy who he did respect and appreciate that I do not like getting out, I don't like driving, then he would say, hey, we'll meet you here. And it's like, oh, that's not that bad. I only have to drive a little bit. And we would go there. They had really good restaurants. Every one of them was expensive. But also, near there, he would take us walking out, and there were other little shops and stuff. What is that place even called? Whatever it's called. But one of the shops they had was a Warhammer store. So long as you stay hydrated, nurses don't have a problem with you. Staying hydrated is important. These really cool vein finding machines. They basically look at the surface using high contrast camera that can kind of see through the skin, then it projects the image on top of the skin. Wow, that's some sci-fi shit right there. Just way too much. Stories will find their way in time. Yeah. $40K or Fantasy Battle? Yes. Or are you asking which Resolute plays? BP, I may have sent you pictures of that place. If I didn't, then shame on me. Gonna drag you into that blacksmith too, but it was closed. Oh, that would have been cool. BF's veins are always super tiny, and we are super fascinated when they bust out that machine. Oh, he had kidney stones? Oof. I know you get them all the dang time. I guess he wanted to try them out just to see what it was like. And Battlefleet Gothic's still your favorite? They haven't made it in like 20 years. I'm guessing it wasn't as popular as the Fantasy Battle or 40K Ground Peoples. Even though I would think the spaceships would be way cooler. Resolute has a fleet. I'm not surprised. What do you play? What's your army? What's your race? Chaos? You and BP are going to get along swimmingly. Started with fantasy back in the day, vampire counts, then actually gathered an army of Space Marines. There was a time when I thought about getting into Battlefleet Gothic because BP played. BP and I are really good friends. And we did play a not tabletop simulator because that didn't exist back then, but it was another program that was kind of like that. You know, if Wilds was always taking us to that Warhammer store, did he play? Resolute, do you know if Wilds played any Warhammer stuff? He did not? That's so weird that he would take us there. It's like, check out this cool store that I have no interest in. Dabbled in some of the games. Like Dawn of War and Total War of War. Alright, good night, Sticks. Thanks for dropping in and hanging out. You had a cafe with coffee. The coffee that was also Warhammer themed. Or at least the names were. It's like the look of the tower, the Eldar ships. Same. I wanted to get an Eldar fleet, mainly because I thought their ships were cool looking. And pretty. Time that I was with you. It was your fault you wanted to go. It's not the first time I had been in there, though. He'd shown it to me before. Or at least, maybe? Or was that the first time? Tendalos did a fantastic job bringing the Eldar ships alive for Armada. Yeah, the Armada game was really cool. And it's a shame that I kind of fell out of love with it because it was really hard for me to play. You know, as an Eldar player, it requires a lot of micro, and I'm bad at micro. Eldar Ring. You know, 40k Souls-like? No, I don't think that would work, because 40k is mainly like ranged battle, with, you know, the big guns and the bolters and plasma. So, yeah, you'd have chainswords and stuff, but I don't know if it would work as a Souls-like. There is a Battlefleet Gothic module for Tabletop Simulator, not the least bit surprised. But if we were to ever play Battlefleet Gothic, Hello, Mead. How you doing? I just want to go back and do Armada again. Micro is why you couldn't get into Warcraft 3. And then RTSs in general. Rar and stuff still. We are faring as best as can be expected. You know, Syl also knew Wiles. That was funny. That one time that I raided Syl, and then we get in there and Wiles is like, "Oh, hey, I know you from this place." Macrophile.
I love how they taste.
Ugh, I don't get to eat my dragon fruit. Never good at micro, but love Warcraft 3 custom maps. I didn't like Warcraft 3 because I felt the hero units just threw the game balance completely off. Nom, 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 nom. So, like, whoever basically gets ahead of the leveling rush with their hero unit, they win. There's really nothing you can do to stop them. Normal units are just gonna be nothing compared to a high-level hero.
I spill my drink.
It was great seeing him. Hadn't seen him in a good year or two. Huh? I'm glad I could reunite you two, even if it was entirely by accident. Oh, right. I have mead. It's warming up too. I love the Scourge Undead for Warcraft 3 because you got to play the Undead. Anytime that's an option, you are there. My life for Ire, Ner'zhul. You know, back whenever we played StarCraft, way back in the day, I didn't pay that much attention to the lore of these games. So, I didn't know that Ire, that's what they were saying. And I was like, why are these zealots going my life for hire? This is why you pay attention. StarCraft has lore? Yes, it does. Such as it is. Get started with Fantasy Battle with the Dwarves back in 4th edition. Still have that army book. Still enjoy your grumpy little dwarves. Got the 4th edition Undead Army book after that. Fell in love with the sheer amount of lore and art in the book. What, the pot? No, is, my life for hire. As, like they're a mercenary or something. And then you bought all the army books for 4th, 5th, 6th. I know you kept sending me like the Codex books for 40k stuff. Mostly like Necrons and actually mostly just Necrons, but so anytime I had a question about Warhammer, I'd ask you because I figured you'd know. You bought all the army. Oh. Yep, that's still the message. So you have to look at your VC rulebook whenever you see what edition it is. So much lore to decrypt. And then Dragon Milk has just hit you. The mead it may or may not be settling in. I've been very much pacing myself with it. Whee! Yep, I did. And I'm fine with it. But Zep, if you want to read more of Wilds' stories whenever Sofuri goes back up, I can send you the link once it's live again. I kind of want to go back and reread Black Collar. Like I said earlier, that was my favorite one. But I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. Also have the rules for Soulblight, Gravelords, Age of a Swiggity Swooty Mar. What? Something in return you'll send over. Okay. Going slow enough that I'd be shocked if it will hit me, especially since I've been drinking water alongside. Well, that's what I'm hoping for, because you know that one time that I had the Midori Sour and I actually started getting that buzzed feeling off of it. I was like, I don't like this. It makes me wonder how people enjoy just like getting completely drunk. Doodaloo. Love how Lord Dent's old Warhammer Fantasy Battle world was. And they go, haha, nope, it's destroyed, haha. We had to Crisis on Infinite Earths reset everything. Was that one of the reset events in comics? I don't know. It's a fun feeling in the right circumstances you're with, and what you're doing makes all the difference. Don't think so. I don't think I'm going to agree on that. Because, I mean, we were at the, it was one of the launch parties. Was it Duke Nukem or Alien that we were at when you did that? And I was with you, and we were at a party having a good time. And I didn't like it. I liked the drink. The drink was good. I just didn't like the way it made me feel. Not the best move. Unfortunately, they were between a rock and hard place, considering the Space Marine Tactical Squad was outselling the entirety of Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. I guess they would have to go back and restructure it. Otherwise, they would just have to cancel Warhammer Fantasy. Because they would. They'd totally do that. Look at Battlefield Gothic. Difference between a giant party and hanging out with some friends. Okay. So I guess in a different environment, I might have liked it more, but I'm still not sure. Nothing wrong with not liking being drunk. Good, because I don't. And seeing how other people act whenever they're drunk just makes me even more sure that I don't want to do it myself. Especially the hangover afterwards. I think Total War saved what was left of the fantasy stuff for Warhammer. BP got me one of the Warhammer Total Warhammer Wars games, and I didn't really care for it. I played as the lizard guys because of course I did, and I didn't feel like I was actually having any kind of influence over the battle. And so we played a little match against each other, and we threw down our armies, and of course BP knows what he's doing. I don't. I'm like, oh, these guys look cool, and okay, well, I'm guessing range fight peoples, whatever. And then we start, and we throw our armies at each other, and I'm like, I don't even feel like my commands are even influencing anything, and I still won. Guy goes home, sees his wife, and his wife sees the puke on his shirt and asks what happened, which he replies, "A drunk guy puked on me and gave me $20 to pay for the dry cleaning." To which his wife said, "Okay, well, why do you have $40 in your hand?" He says, "Because he also shit in my pants." Got too many hours in that trilogy. It was neat watching Resolute play it. Some people just use alcohol as an excuse to be an asshole. In vino veritas. In wine, there is truth. If they're assholes while drunk, they're probably assholes when they're sober. I feel like I heard that before from Alex Lifeson of all people. Been drunk twice. Didn't like it either time. Was cognizant of your lack of control, and it felt awful. Also ran out into the snow looking for my glasses and my friend, who had to corral me back inside, wherein you passed out immediately. Oh, missed a message. Mwap, mwap. Oh. Man drinking in a bar, pukes on his shirt. Shit, can't go home like this, my wife will kill me. Bartender sees this and says, "Put a $20 bill in your pocket, and when she sees the puke, tell her that some drunk puked on you and gave you $20 for dry cleaning." Okay. And then he also shit in my pants. Never done alcohol, never shall. You know, that's perfectly fine. This is like the first time I've had a drink in over 10 years. Not counting the little sips that I had over with Wilds at TFF. It's like half of that is in Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 2. 3,000 hours. I don't think I have that much in any game. Closest might be Warframe or Star Trek Online, but I don't think I have the full hours that I've spent in that because I didn't always play it through Steam. But what is my time in Warframe? 2,522 hours. And now I don't even want to play that game anymore because the grind wore me down too much. Remembering the time the enemy army didn't show up and the map had screwy terrain and made your Skyrim horse. Read is much the same way. Much of the experience is based on who you are with and what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with not liking the feeling or not wanting to do it. Yeah, much like Syl, I don't like not being in control. Alright, this is the last of my water. I think when this is gone, I'm going to just end stream. Closest thing you've had to a drink is grog when they had, oh yeah, the floating pirate themed restaurant we went to. And it was basically just rum and Coke, and I hated that and told them just bring me some Coke. I'm glad they understood that I meant the drink and not something else. Reason to dislike it, but as long as they're not driving drunk, others can enjoy it if they want. Where you were staying had a single stair into the lounge room, so just one little step down or step up. Had to stop and properly assess your way down. Just one single step. One single step is enough to put you on the floor if you don't do it right. Whoa, I saw what was going on right there. Tracking just completely lost whatever I was doing there. Everybody dance. Never again. Well, this was fun of a sort. Bittersweet kind of fun. I was paying attention to the whole time. The entire way down, I knew what was happening. I always refer to the Warhammer elves as and Eldar by their orc names, pointy-eared gits. Yep, you started calling elves, or you started calling, yeah, you were calling elves that as well, and I started using that too. But I think it's about time for us to just wrap it up for the night, and maybe, should we even bother fighting a raid, or should we just go? Let's see who's on. You never have enough DACA. Oh, hey. Dan is on. You know what? Let's drop in on Dan. He's playing some spoopy game. Eee, shinies. Rarn stuff, Croc. Thank you all for joining me. It means a lot this time, especially. I don't know if I'm going to stream again on Wednesday. I'm not sure if I'm up for that yet. But I'll let everybody know whenever we're going live again. I might just sit the rest of this week out and we'll return with Morrowind Monday next time. But take care of yourselves. Tell your family you love them. And I'll see you next time. Till then, into thy wings.